everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. If you get to the end and liked it, then subscribe, thumbs up, bell notification. Hi, cutie pie. Today I woke up and was like, I'm not getting out of my pajamas, so but I have to film, so we're gonna multitask here and both stay in my pajamas and film when I need you. Hello. Anyways, I want to talk to you all about my December reading month. I had a pretty good reading month. I didn't end up getting to everything on my TBR. My surgery wiped me out a whole lot more than I was expecting it to, but I still did get a good vast majority of it done, and I did, like, on the second to last day, finish the last prompt I needed to do for the TBR and Beyond yearly reading challenge, so I finished that, and I got through a lot of series this year, and especially this month. Like, I caught up, I feel like, on a lot of older stuff. So, as always, we're going to talk about what books I read, any spotlights, and then some, like, goofy, sometimes serious lessons. So, I started off the month by reading Blood Heir by Amelia Wen Zhao. This had a bunch of controversy before it came out, so I was super curious about it, and I'm so glad I gave it a shot, because it's fantastic. And if you're interested, the author is going to be in the TBR and Beyond group doing a live chat in February, so you can join the group, and, you know, send questions or just observe or whatever. Loki, Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee. One Day in December by, I think it's Josie Silver. I think that's how you pronounce it. My brain is like, oh, I know how to pronounce that author's name. And as soon as I'm like, oh, I'm going to put it on record, I'm like suddenly like, I don't know how to pronounce that author's name. Thick as Thieves by Megan Whalen Turner. The second to last book in the Queen's Thief series. And I looked, and the final book is not coming out until August, I think it is now. It was like August or September. I thought it was March for some reason. Maybe it was March and then they moved it. I don't know anymore. Either way, I'll get that book whenever it comes out in paperback because I'm just exhausted at that series right now. Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. It's the first official book in the Witcher series. There's like 2 novella-y things before. It's like the first official book in the series. Also watch The Witcher. A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs Waller. Mr. Max, The Book of Lost Things by Cynthia Voigt? I feel like that's a German last name. Voigt? Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I'm now, like, kind of conflicted. Like, I loved this book, but I just found out it's published by Avon Books, and I guess that's, like, I thought it was just a different company, but it is, like, owned by that giant MLM company. I'm, like, very anti-MLM, and now I don't know how I feel. Winter House and the sequel, The Secrets of Winter House by Ben Gutterson. Gutterson. I keep wanting to say Gunterson. Gutterson. Christmas Dinner of Souls by Ross Montgomery, which was suggested to me on Goodreads by someone that I think is a YouTube subscriber, so if you're still here, thank you for the recommendation. I finally got to it. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. The Five by Haley something. The Lives of the Victims of Stalking Jack the Ripper. Lovely War by Julie Berry. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. Crier's War by Nina Varela. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. The Passion of Dulce by Julie Berry. Tristan Strom Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mambalia. I think that's how you pronounce it. And now I'm sad because I just noticed yesterday that I have to wait till 2021 for the sequel. The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. And I finished out the year, well, technically I finished this at the very beginning of January, but whatever. I started it in December, so we're counting it there, of The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. So Spotlight, it's actually kind of a wonderful month, and a kind of amazing way to finish off the year, if I'm totally honest. I normally go from least to most favorite. Honestly, I couldn't pick a least favorite. I didn't really have one. I read a lot of really solid books. Even the ones that were like, maybe didn't live up to everything I was hoping for, they were still like solid 3.5 stars, and there wasn't anything like, oh, I hate it. I was just like, oh, I liked this one better. So, for the first time ever, December 2019, I did not have a least favorite book. I think my most surprised book was A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs Waller. I knew going in that it had potential to be something that I liked, but, like, it was good, and it was so good that I was able to look past the atrocities that are the covers of this series. This book. I've seen a couple of the different covers, like, I think there's the UK cover, they have a different audiobook cover than they do a physical cover, and, like, the covers are horrendous and completely miss the mark on the actual content. But I'm willing to overlook that I want to keep this book despite the cover, because the content itself is so freaking good, and now I want to go investigate all of Sharon Big Waller's other content. So she's like my new, probably like gonna be my next Julie Berry of like, I'm gonna go into this, like deep dive into this author. Honestly, it just had a lot of amazing elements. I feel like it dealt really well with sexism of the time period. It also had a character, a main female character who was not mind-numbingly frustrating from a modern perspective, but she was also believable to be set in that time period. I like the inclusion of the art world because I always find the, you know, evolution of the art world into society, into like acceptable society, to be very interesting, because for a long time it wasn't. It was this other. It was where the kids went when they were like a failure to the family, and like you just stopped seeing them and you were just destitute, and like it was just, it's very different when you look back over the centuries. And then we kind of switched into, before that we went into this like, oh, they were basically like, you could only survive doing it if the rich paid you to do it, so they were kind of acceptable. It was still like a class distinction. And then now it's just totally different. So it's really, really interesting. I love the main character. I love the entire concept of the suffragette movement again in history. I feel like it's becoming more and more prevalent in today's society and important. So highly love this. I'm going to keep following the author. Now, I mean, it was kind of difficult to pick like an absolute favorite, but I gotta go with Lovely War by Julie Berry. I got this book from the library. I am going to Book Outlet on January, late January, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, when I'm in Ontario, and I'm looking for this book. Hopefully I can find it there. If not, maybe I can find it in Indigo stores, because I don't have it at my store. So this book was fantastic. I got through the library. I need my own physical copy now. It was just mind-blowing. Like, I knew that I liked Julie Berry after The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prick Willow Place. I like thoroughly just lapped that book up. But this is just like totally like different and on its own, and it tugged on my heartstrings. And somehow, even though I was like, don't get attached to these characters, they're set in war zone World War II France, like don't do it to yourself, I was like, shh, I want to like them. I think they'll all be okay. I don't know why I did that to myself, because it never normally ends well. I loved the inclusion of kind of the parallel lines of like what's happening in the world versus like the court trial thing going on between the gods. I loved the gods that we incorporated and included. I just loved it overall. I liked that it dealt kind of amazingly with segregation in the barracks, because we kind of forget about that stuff, especially when we looked at what, you know, it was like in the United States at the time, because they are for the American military, the segregation, and then just the concept of people working in these war zones, but like not as a part of like active combat military, but as like musicians and morale upkeep. It was just fantastic, amazing. That's a book I think I'm going to want to reread probably once a year or so. It tugs at my heartstrings, but in a good way, but it's historical fiction. It's a break from all the other fantasy kind of structures. It was just wonderful. So this month's lessons. I learned from Christmas Dinner of Souls, Winter House, The Secrets of the Winter House, that if I grow up and like on the off chance I do get married, I need to find someone who's like super wealthy so they can afford my upkeep of my books. But also, we're gonna buy a house, and if it doesn't already have it, we're gonna like dig tunnels underneath. I want to be able to live somewhere and be like, ooh, there's secret tunnels under the house. I mean, at that point, I'll probably know how actually, no. Who's that lady? The woman who's, her father, whatever, was the creator of that gun, tells you how much I know about guns. The Charleston. Her father was like the trademarker of some big selling gun, and her husband or something like that dies in war, and then she like literally for the rest of her life just bought a house and had random architects come in and do something, and then would fire them mid-project. So there's like doors that lead to nowhere, like windows that like just open up to like random places, or that open up to nothing. There's just random stairways all over the place that go nowhere. It sounds like kind of amazing. So I want that. Or someone who will allow me to dig a tunnel system under the house. I don't think I ever grew out of that phase of like building pillow forts. I'm almost 28 and my brain is still doing this. I've just come to the conclusion that Julie Berry owns me, and I'm not going to ask questions about that. The Poppy War just kind of highlighted the concept of don't be dicks to orphans, because they can kill you. The Passion of Dulce wants me to remind you that we should keep fucking with history. Just mess it around, throw it against the wall, and then be like, what's we gonna, and then write something about it. Mad Wicked Folly and the Taming of the Shrew made me realize that, like, When I read, like, in, like, built-in sexism, like, verbalized sexism, like, there's, like, the undercurrents of some characters in some books that are, like, yeah, they're clearly sexist. But when it's, like, very verbalized and, like, on the front line, I want to, like, punch a hole in the wall for, like, a day straight after reading these books. Even though I love both of these stories, the sexism, like, just, like, I can feel my blood pressure rising. And that's why I'm convinced if I ever got in the TARDIS and had to go anywhere backwards in time, I'd get killed within, like, a day. Get a Life, Chloe Brown wanted me to remind you that we need more ginger love interests so that I can pretend that they're Jamie Fraser. And lastly, if you're ever in the situation where you let your family members put you on blind dates, don't ever go on the one that your evil cousins put you on, because you'll end up in an adult drive-in movie theater with a weirdo. So, those are all the books that I read this month, what they taught me, and any spotlight. Let me know in the comment section if you've read any of these, what your thoughts were, and what you read in the month of December. I would love to know. Watson's doing his, like, World Vision Adopt Me eyes right now. It's very cute. God, you're very cute. So cute. You're very manipulative. I love you so much. Yeah, you're more manipulative than Nikocado Avocado. Yeah, and Trashopatus. Yeah, you're much cuter than them, though. You got that going for you, too. Okay, anyways, I will link all of these books in the description box down below. I will also link all of my social media. If you follow me, I will follow you back. I hope you had a wonderful end to the new to 2019. Boy, was that 2019 was enough. 2020 is already shaping up to be on par with that, but I hope you had a safe new year, and I will see you soon.